my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I love that.
Half an hour to make that intro.
I love that intro. It's great.
Need to do a
bit dramatic, but so hello everybody. We haven't been on for ages.
Hello.
Hi Denise.
Hi Denise.
How are you all? Hi
Jim.
Jim's in. He's not missing it.
Not missing it.
Thank you for your comments on our channel, by the way, Jim. We appreciate you. So, how is everybody?
Who are you talking to?
All the people.
Well, I live with Mick, so I'm just talking to you.
Hi, Roger.
Hi, Roger.
Right.
So, should we go straight in?
Yeah.
Should we just go straight into it? Because we might as well.
Yeah, let's go.
Go on then. Who's doing the introduction? Ange.
So, tonight we have the amazing, that man off of the telly, that historian who has got a wealth of knowledge. He is amazing. So let's welcome the amazing Mr. Richard Felix.
And
I'm actually there. I'm actually here. Yep, I'm there. Can't say any more about it. I'm here. How are you doing, guys?
He's in the house.
He's in the house.
I am.
How are you?
Yeah. I'm alive. That's all that matters. When you get to my age, you wake up every morning and you thank God.
Absolutely.
Simple as that. Really. Yeah, I'm great. I'm fine. Busy. I'm very busy and I can't understand it. I think I mentioned to you earlier. Yeah, I'm supposed to be quiet. Summer comes. The sun. Well, the sun comes out. Sorry. It get the lights. The nights get lighter, and the days longer. And people are either saving up for the holidays. They're on the holidays. They're spent up after the holidays, or the kids are going back to school. And so, normally my ghost business drops during the summer. Gives me a break, but it's not this year. It's gone bloody mad. I don't understand it. So I'm not moaning. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to be busy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but it's also nice to have a bit of a break sometimes. Never mind. Yeah.
So, is it mainly you're busy with what's going on at the Derby Jail?
Ghost events, night, because obviously Derby Jail, we do a lot of events at Derby Jail. Night vigils, of course, and normally, as I say, people don't book them at this time of year because it's light, but it's not stopped people booking, every Saturday night, Friday nights. Normally people don't do it because people have got to get up for bed for work next morning. I don't normally do events Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, that sort of stuff, but people are doing as well. So long may it rain. Then obviously I do other things. I also, you see, as you said, historian. I'm a local. I'm branded as a paranormal historian, but I'm also a local historian, and I also teach at my age Derby's local history in schools, not only primary schools, universities, you name it. And then I also do crime and punishment, which is a national curriculum, and that's with having Derby Jail. And I do a lot of school work now as well. And would you believe? Every school that comes or that I do anything with, of course, also they have to have ghost stories as well.
Yeah,
and it's allowed. Teachers allow it, which is
amazing.
It is strange because I was approached by a lady that lives in our area who is actually the head mistress of a high school here, and she obviously on school pickup, she's noticed my jacket and she was like, I'm interested in what's that all about. And I had a conversation with her and she said, would you like to come into the school and do a talk about it? So I'm like, that's a bit strange because it's not like a
it's not national curriculum.
People take. Is it?
No, it's not.
It's a bit of a strange one.
Changing. It's changing. Things are, how can I put it? It should or could become respectable rather than the Scooby-Doo side of it, you know. So from that point of view, yeah, as I say, every time, you know, please come and have a ghost story. I always look at the teacher, and they say, yeah, of course you can, yeah. And then once I open my mouth, then the kids start. Well, my brother went, and off we go. Because we're not really there just to talk about ghosts. We're there to talk about history and the history of Derby and crime and punishment and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good.
It is good.
See, I'll tell you what, it's a way of, you see, guys, I'm interested in the history that created the ghost.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that makes the ghost business more credible.
Yes.
You see what I'm coming from?
Tell us
I
about...
can't prove the ghost, but I can prove the history that created or we believe created the ghost, whatever a ghost is.
Okay, so tell us more.
And that's what makes it more fascinating as well. Far more fascinating than there's a grey lady in there. Oh, right, okay. What next? There's a green lady over there, and there's a shadow figure been seen there, and this moved off the shelf there. And well, why did it?
Yes.
And that's what I think really creates the interest that hasn't always been there.
No.
So
your theory that you have about why we see so many spirits or entities, whatever you want to call them, in
energy.
Energies in sort of period clothing. Why do you think that is? Because
of their beliefs.
Okay.
Simple as that. As oh, here we go. If any Christians are on board or anybody,
let me just say,
right.
when we came to the jail, to do the investigation, I was absolutely blown away with the information that you were giving me. I could have sat there and spent the entire night, not bothered with the investigation, and just sat
listening to me, listened
to you, because what you were saying, when you think about it, makes a logical sense as to why we see ghosts or spirits, entities, whatever, in period clothing. So explain it to everybody else.
God.
It's just fascinating.
Look, there have been ghosts. Well, the word ghost, as I say, is the wrong word. And the ghost, without going into all of that now, it's all in the book, by the way, called What is a Ghost? But basically, that's a word, and it means to be frightened of. The real word is obviously, as I've said already once, is an energy source that hasn't moved on for whatever reason. And there's always been talk that the dead have always returned or stayed around. But it got an awful lot worse when not just religion, but what really big time when Christianity came on the scene, 1900 years ago or something like that. And for the first time, because you see, we've always had religion. You know, a few. I mean, one of the many questions I say is, why haven't you? Have any of you guys out there or that's listening ever heard of the ghost of a caveman?
No.
Think about it.
No.
You know, cave. I don't know. You know, cave potholers. It's all of a sudden they're sort of going into a cave, and they see this guy with fur all over him and a club in his hand, dragging his wife across the floor of the cave by her hair, and disappeared through the cave wall. You know, no, I'm not saying there's none, but there ain't many. So you see, so they had no agendas. They had no fear. That's the word. They had no fear of what happens after you're dead. And so they just died and went to where all energies go. And I don't know where that is. Because I don't know whether it's a frequency, a dimension, a spiritual plane, a level, a time zone, or what. I ain't got a clue where that goes. I know it goes somewhere, because you can't destroy energy. And that's what we are, nothing but energy. So, you know, about 1900 years ago, when Christianity came on the scene, and started to rule through fear, and I mean fear, because basically they created all of the terrors that have kept us under control for nearly 2,000 years. You know, they invented it. They invented hell. They invented the devil. They invented purgatory. They invented Judgment Day. Beelzebub, Baal, the devil, demons, the Antichrist, everything, and everyone became a good God-fearing man.
Yeah.
Why they had to become a God-fearing man, not a woman, I don't know, but that's another story. But you know, it was all terror, and so you've broken a commandment. You've committed one of the 4 mortal sins. Then you where are you going to go? Oh, yeah. You got to burn in hell for eternity at 10,000 degrees centigrade, with gnashing of teeth and ripping of flesh and all the terrors of Dante's Inferno and all this bollocks. You know, I mean, and they believed it. Of course, they believed it.
Yeah.
So it's a case of, well, I've been a naughty boy. I've broken a commandment. I've committed a mortal sin. Well, I know St. Peter ain't going to let me in up there. I'm not going down there. I'll stop here, thanks.
Yeah.
And it's created ghosts.
Yeah, Tina should ask that question as well. She said,
and there is proof, by the way. Hang on. When I say proof, of course, there's no proof. There's no proof that ghosts exist at all. But there are things that help to prove what was in their minds at the time. And one of them, of course, was suicide, or self-murder, as it was called by the church. Self-murder was the worst crime you could commit, because only God's allowed to take your life, not you. And so basically, all suicides in this country till 1823 weren't allowed to be buried in consecrated ground. They were buried at the crossroads with a wooden stake hammered through the heart.
Is that where the crossroads demon come from?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Basically, the stake was to hold you into the ground, because they knew you wouldn't be at rest, because you were floating. You know, you were a tormented soul between heaven and earth, and the stake was to hold you in. Yeah. But if you did get out, if you managed to get that stake out and rose from the grave, if you were buried at the crossroads, you'd be confused and not know which road to take, and always remain at the crossroads and never bother anybody in the village. This is rubbish. Guys, it wasn't rubbish to them.
No.
Because they believed it. And they believed they would go to hell and burn in hell for eternity. And then the other little bit of proof is the fact that, as I showed you, I think, guys, when we were in Derby Jail, in the murder room, where murderers after 1752 weren't allowed to be buried, were so no 6 foot of English earth, no laid to rest, no gravestone, no family around the grave. They were publicly dissected. And basically, by publicly dissecting them, it meant their body wasn't whole. And that meant on the day of judgment, no material resurrection. And where are you going to go? Straight to hell. Well, I ain't going to hell. I'll stop here, thanks. Honestly, it's reality. They weren't feeble-minded, but it was what they believed. And some people still do. Some people still genuinely I mean, that's why it's still difficult to get body parts for donors for body parts. Because some people still believe that the body must be buried whole.
I'm not a donor. I believe that. I'm not.
You still believe that?
Yeah, I'm not a donor list.
Because you think you need. In other words, you think your body's going to be needed again.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't. Have you got everything you started with when you were born?
No.
I have.
What? Every tooth?
I've had nothing taken out of me.
Nothing.
Only teeth. I've lost teeth. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know whether teeth count, but mate, you're blessed. You, sir, are going straight to heaven, mate, and you're going to be judged, and you are straight through those pearly gates, mate. I'm telling you. Right on the side of that golden throne.
This is what I said to Nicola. If anything happens to me, do not cremate me, because
No.
I believe all things on earth is borrowed, and when you die, you give it back.
Wow. Good. I mean, fine. Listen, mate, I ain't knocking any of this, because I think anybody who has faith in whatever they believe in, if it's the golden nail or whatever it happens to be, good for you. Because I think it's fantastic to have that sort of faith. And in a way, I've got it, because I believe that we do go on in some form.
Yeah.
Our energy goes on, but not our body. Trust me.
No.
Not
Just
our
body.
body. Hey, this is why the Egyptians embalmed people, and we did, and that's why they buried them in lead-lined coffins, because they believed the body was needed again, as you do. And why not? Good for you. Load of crap.
Even I was on the ground, and so the kid said to me the other day, they went, "Oh, what about all the bugs that eat you?" I said, "Yeah, but I'll be in every single one of them bugs. A bit of my energy will be spread."
True, and that's very true, because you see, your energy, the vessel that held your energy, that becomes that's energy. That becomes fertilizer for daffodils.
Yeah.
And great. No, but that's what they believed, and they genuinely believed. So by taking the body to pieces, hanging, drawing, and quartering somebody, whatever it happened to be, meant that they were sending them straight to hell. And so they've stayed behind. And it's a fact. That's what, as I say. So there aren't so many. That's why there's no caveman ghosts, not many, because they didn't fear God. They didn't have any fear of divine retribution, hellfire, and damnation. And then the second thing I always say to people is have you ever heard of a young lad wearing a hoodie, smoking a joint, with his backside hanging out of his jeans, walking through a council house wall?
No.
There's not many modern ghosts. And the reason that lad has no fear is because A, he doesn't believe in God, B, he doesn't fear the police, the courts, his parents, or anybody else.
Yeah.
So he just snuffs it and goes wherever everybody's energy goes to.
Yeah.
So
that's my take. Anyway, what load of rubbish probably. All I'm trying to do is come up with a positive, real explanation for this whole damn business, rather than your Scooby-Doo crap that we're getting on television all the time.
Yes. Oh, Richard.
Yeah.
So going back to Derby Jail.
Yes.
Another thing that I found really fascinating when you were telling us the stories about the people that were imprisoned there, and how they were actually carving like the V's, the double V's on the door.
Yes, witch marks.
Yeah, the witch marks, because they were afraid of spirits.
Ghosts.
Even back in those days, they were still afraid of spirits.
Yeah.
So, and it was just so fascinating that
it is more afraid than we are now. They believed more in ghosts then than we do now.
Yeah.
We have a fascination now, which is slightly different. They were literally in fear and trepidation of ghosts, evil spirits, all of your boggarts and your whatever and so basically, you see, don't forget, so many of the people that were in Derby jail and lots of other jails, of course, around the country or the world, were fearing death and the afterlife as to where they went next. So I cannot imagine the fear and trepidation of people had of dying in those days, because they were terrified. They really believed that there's a chance of burning in hell for eternity. And so these witch marks, which are not, that's the wrong name, because they weren't frightened of a witch coming into these. They were frightened of evil spirits, ghosts. And so all the religious marks, most of the religious marks that are on the doors are religious marks, are Marian marks, as they're called, Mary, Mother of Jesus. And the most famous one of all is a double V, which means Virgin of Virgins. Mary, Mother of God. And it's a VV because, you see, there was no such thing as a W. And there was no such thing as a U in those days. And it was V and double V. And so it was VV, Virgin of Virgins. There's others, the circles, because they believed that evil spirits were stupid, and that if an evil spirit was attracted into a circle, there's no corners for it to hide, and it would be trapped. I mean, it's nonsense, but guys, it wasn't nonsense to them.
But we still use that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
now,
we do.
like the circle for things.
Yeah, we do.
What things, but we do.
Yeah, we still throw salt over our shoulders if we spill some.
Yes.
We won't walk under a ladder. People do silly things if they see a magpie on the road. And,
Nicola.
That's me.
Yeah. It's still with us. It's still with us.
Yeah,
but it was big with them big time.
If I only see one magpie, I will drive round until I've seen two. I won't come
Really?
home.
I'd try and run it over. I would. No, I would, honestly, because I hate them.
It's
I hate them because they kill baby birds. But that's another story.
Yeah, I told you, Nicola, they're horrible birds.
Yeah, but I just have to salute them. Otherwise,
Evil
I feel
creatures.
like
Evil creatures.
They're a raven. They're in a raven family.
Yeah, horrible things. So yes, but you see, all I'm trying to do, as I say, is I believe I am the voice of reality. I'm trying to prove the reality behind ghosts and trying to preach to people that they're not there to get you, because they were you and me once.
Yeah.
And most you and me's are very nice.
Yeah.
Not all.
Trust
me, don't think Hitler's wandering around picking daffodils at this time of year, because there are no daffodils now, because he's not, because he was an evil bleeder, wasn't he? But most people are nice, and so to me, most ghosts are nice, because they were human beings once. But there is evil. I don't say for 1 minute that there isn't, because we know full well there is awfully terribly evil people on this planet, and I believe that when you go over to wherever you go to, that your personality, your ego, your goes with you.
Yeah.
So if you're an evil person in this world or now, wherever we go, that goes with you. Your personality will go with you. And then the other side of it is there must be some very angry people out there as well, or some very angry ghosts. Like the Pendle witches, for a start.
Yeah.
Think about it. You know, I mean, they weren't witches. There's no such thing as witches. Everybody says, oh, yes, there is. Yeah, white witches. Yeah, absolutely. But as regards witches, it was, again, it's back to the church. They were demonized by the church because they were most of them clung on to the old faith. When everyone was pagan, everybody was great. All people were born innocent. Absolutely fantastic. We came from Mother Earth and we went back to Mother Earth and we worshipped Mother Earth, and that was wonderful, I think. And the female goddess played the biggest part. And then the horn god came along, and everything was tickety-boo until all of a sudden Christianity came on the scene and demonized everything pagan. But the old gals in the village clung on to the old faith longer because the news didn't get to them, and they needed to be eradicated, removed. And the best way to do that, because most of them were, what's the word I'm looking at? Cunning. They had powers, special powers, a bit like popping down to Boots, the chemist, to get something because you got a tummy ache, and they would help you, and they would have powers, and they would say spells and things, and they were a little bit different. So they had to be demonized. So they changed the name, the pagan name of Witchcraft, which was the wise one. The Wiccan is the craft of the wise. Witchcraft, the craft of the wise, and they changed it to witchcraft and demonized them.
Yeah,
get rid of them.
My mum calling me every 2 seconds.
Yeah. So without being funny, all this, evil witches and demonic witches, and it's rubbish. Again, it's all created by the church, and then all of a sudden, guess what? It all happened again because everyone was good Christian, Catholic. And then all of a sudden, Protestantism, Church of England came along, and the old people in the village, including the Pendle witches, because all they were doing was celebrating Mass on Good Friday in Malkin Tower. That's all it was. That's all it was. It wasn't a coven. It wasn't. It was a holy day for Catholics.
Yeah.
And they were all Catholic. That's it. And they were demonized and hanged.
Yeah, it's
It's
crazy,
funny, isn't it? How that
No wonder they're angry.
Yeah.
It's your grandma, 68-year-old lady, innocent, totally innocent, demonized and hanged. I'd be angry as well.
Bad. But it's just weird, isn't it? How that legacy of them has lived on for so long.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely right. Yeah. I'm not quite sure. I mean, it's the most incredible story, a tragic story. All those people, hanged for witchcraft. The thing that I can't quite get my head around is people that shouldn't do this. I shouldn't say folks that go up on a Pendle witch tour. Where do you go? Because Pendle Hill's ever so big. It's just a hill, isn't it?
Yeah. I've seen it because we wanted to go up there because obviously it's legendary, and we wanted to have a little look around and get the vibe and see what it was like.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I was like, whereabouts do we actually start?
What do I do? Do I go on the hill? Do I sit on the hill?
Do we go on the peak of the hill? Do we stand in the forest? Do we go to the cottage?
No, because they drowned them, didn't they?
Say again.
They hung them.
They drowned the witches, didn't they?
No, they hanged them. No. Right. Okay. Here we go. Ready? Anybody? Right. Basically, they needed to be. The thing is that they needed to be forced to admit that they were a witch. Or the first thing you have to do is look for the witch's mark, which would be a wart, or a birthmark, or left-handed, keggy-handed, the sinister hand. Left is sinister. Sinister is Latin for left. And so sinister hand would be, that's enough. You're a witch. That's it. You're mark of the devil, that is. But if you weren't left-handed or you hadn't got a birthmark or anything, then God needed, back to the same old story, God needed to decide, and that's trial by ordeal. And so they tied your left toe to your right thumb, your left thumb to your right toe, put a rope round your waist and threw you in the pond or in the lake or in the river. If you sank to the bottom, you were innocent because you were accepting Christianity and baptism with water. If you rose to the surface, you were a witch and you were not accepting Christianity and baptism. So they dragged you out and hanged you.
You got no chance. They had no chance, did they?
No. But do you realize how much I'm getting back to this business of Christianity all the time?
Yeah.
And how much it's played a part on creating ghosts.
Yeah.
Because they're frightened to move on.
Yeah, because even in Egyptian times as well, they didn't have ghosts, did they? They just believed you went to the afterlife and never come back.
I think they did. I wouldn't say they didn't have ghosts. They certainly believed in an afterlife. They believed you went on in some form. And I do believe that they were probably frightened, possibly, of evil spirits. I think that most cultures certainly believe in an afterlife, and certainly believe that in the possibility of the dead returning. I'm pretty sure of that. But they don't have what we have in the English-speaking people's countries. England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, America, Australia, Canada. They have a ghost culture that other countries don't have. There wouldn't be such thing as a Tokyo ghost walk or a Berlin ghost walk, I don't think. As far as I know, there isn't. Because they don't have the same culture as we do to do with ghosts. And I'm not sure why that is. I think it might be to do with Vikings, tall stories and sagas and things like that, perhaps. But you know what I mean? It's a ghost. In other words, I don't think there'd be a shop that had lots of ghost books, ghost stories and ghost books in Germany or France. Or Belgium or anywhere else, or DVDs and lots and lots and lots and lots of, because notice most of the I think of the ghost programs, they're either from Australia, from New Zealand, from America, from Canada, England. Have you ever seen a ghost program?
No.
like Most Haunted or Ghost Adventures, or do you know what I mean?
No,
it belongs to us, and I don't know why.
But it's got so popular now, though, hasn't it? It has been so popular.
All thanks to Most Haunted.
Yeah, it's just like
really, we started it.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no doubt about it. We started it before. I mean, before that, all there was Strange but True. Yeah. Michael Aspel. Do you remember? Don't you remember?
Yeah,
it?
No, I
it
don't.
Was fabulous.
I grew up actually watching Most Haunted, obviously, and it was always a thing. Oh, I wanted to be a ghost hunter. I wanted to grow up and be a ghost hunter.
I know. We've had a terrible effect on people. We really have.
I know you have.
but it's right. We set the scene. We started it. We got more viewers than The Simpsons when we were in our heyday. And all the other programs now, I hate to say, is that unfortunately, most of them anyway, not all, are I don't watch them, but apparently they're all based they're all playing Most Haunted to a certain extent. Apart from, there's one called, I don't know if you see it, is it the Ouija Brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On YouTube. I haven't seen it, but I'm told that they tend to debunk things first.
Yeah.
But then again, Taps used to do that.
Yeah, Taps used to do that.
And then they changed.
I tell you now, Richard, that's what we do.
That's what you've got to do. Tick the normal boxes first.
You have to, because to me, if you're going on an investigation and there's knocks happening, there's this happening, you have to investigate the logical things first.
Thank you.
Because if you don't investigate the logical things first and you deem everything as paranormal, there is 0 point to it.
Absolutely, because most of it is natural. Well, it's all natural. But you're right. But as regards a ghost or whatever that means, that there's a small chance of that. Most of it all of it will be explained one day.
Yes.
But at the moment, most of it can be explained. And as I say, tick the normal boxes, guys. But that was the problem, I believe. That's the problem on all TV programs.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's all down to viewers, and people love to be scared. And they love ghosties, and so you've got to give them ghosts every 5 minutes, or they'll switch off.
Yes,
because it's entertainment. But that's not what we're about. That's not what you guys are about. You see, that's the difference.
No,
but there are a lot out there that are still playing Most Haunted, I'm afraid.
Yes. There is, and every house everybody goes in, there's a demon. Oh my god!
Oh no! Yeah.
Oh my god! The scary witch grabbed me.
Yeah, I mean, to go into somebody's house, to be allowed to go in and tell them that there's a demon there, and it's just do it, guys. It's so wrong.
I would move.
Quite worrying. Because you see, again, guess where demons come from? The church.
The church.
Demons were invented. They invented the devil. He was actually a Phoenician deity called Beelzebub. But he wasn't scary enough, so they gave him red skin and cloven hooves and a fork and horns, and made him much more scary for people. And then they had the big devil, but then they needed little devils as well, and they were demons. They're called demons, and they're the ones that are whispering in your ear. And
it's crazy, isn't it? But people believe it. Millions and millions and millions of people still believe it.
Especially in America.
Definitely America.
They love the demons. There's no such thing as demons. There might be some evil people out there. And there might be some angry people out there. Ghosts, I mean. But they're not, it's made up. The devil's made up. Sorry, I hate to say it. Heaven's made up. All of it's made up. Stop it, Richard.
Heaven's made up.
Of course it's made up.
Yeah, of course it is.
Have any of you ever flown at 30 odd thousand feet in the air, right, and looked out the window and seen an angel sitting on a wet cloud strumming a harp?
No, I can't say I have.
How far up is heaven anyway? Is it beyond 30,000 feet? I don't know.
No. I was listening to that old lady. What's her name? Dolores. I can't remember her name. Someone Dolores. She talks about the afterlife and where we go. and stuff.
Right.
And she says like when we die, most people follow the light, and she believes you follow the light to be reborn again through the birth canal. But not many people look behind them and see the universe you go back to. Very interesting. Yeah, she says
we come from the universe, and I believe we go back to the universe.
She said we go back to wherever we come from. So there's a cycle of life. She says you can't leave Earth until you leave with good karma. So if you've had bad trauma throughout your life, you'll always be. If you go away in a not forgiving way, if you die in a not forgiving way, you will be reborn until you learn to give peace and move on. And she said, and then whether you go back to the planet Pluto or somewhere over there in the universe or somewhere there. She said,
I like it. Yeah, I it's not far from this. Excuse me. This, obviously, what's the word? Reincarnation, that sort of stuff. I think that there are levels that you have to go to, and that's why there are people that when they've regressed don't have any past lives at all, because guess what? They passed the driving test first time.
Yeah.
And went straight through to the next level or whatever. There are others who didn't pass and have come back. Some people take 5 times to pass the driving test.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, I think, with moving on to the next plane, level, dimension, frequency, I don't know, whatever. And yeah, I'll take that. I like it.
Yeah. And there was another thing as well. If you have a birthmark, that is how you died in your past life, no matter how big or small it is. So if you have a birthmark, that's how you died in your last life.
A reminder of.
Yeah, a reminder of. Yeah, exactly. I've got a birthmark right on my leg, probably where my what's the main vein? No, I didn't feel that. The artery, where the artery is. Just where that's where you died. You've got a birthmark on your face, haven't you, Nicola?
Yeah.
Andy, you got any birthmarks?
I've got 2. You
see? This side.
Yeah, I've got one on my side. One on my side and one on my arm. So I died twice.
Got it twice.
The spiritualist was saying that's how you died in a past life.
Well,
no, I haven't got any.
Oh well, I mean,
I'm a newbie.
You may be on your last level. You may be on
I'm straight out of here.
Wow. Yeah. Love it.
Ascending is merited, I think. You keep getting shoved back over and over until you get it right.
I think it's a possibility. Yes, I think there is a possibility of that. There's a possibility of all of it, because there's something that goes on. I've spoken to too many people over the last 31 years of doing this to know full well that there is something in it. There's no doubt in my mind that there is, because people. You see, I don't call them ghost stories anymore. They're accounts, and the difference between an account and a story can be made up.
Yeah.
An account is what you believe happened. You might be mistaken. You might be overtired. You might be drunk. But it's an account that you believe did happen, and that's very different to a story. And that's what I get from Joe Public all the time. All the time.
I think sometimes we overlook personal experiences and what kind of how it can affect you as an individual. I mean, we've been doing it for a while now, and we have encountered some horrific situations where things have happened which are completely out of the ordinary, and if it would have been anybody else, they would have run half a mile away. But because it only happened to one individual, it was so hard then to emphasize how that experience affected that one person.
Yes.
And I think sometimes we overlook personal experiences as evidence a little bit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. I about 18 months ago, having had so many accounts from Joe Public over the years, I thought it was time that I created a book of Joe Public's accounts. And unfortunately, I called it The People's Ghost Stories, but I should have called it The People's Ghost Accounts. Didn't sound the same. It didn't sound quite as good.
No,
but basically, it's full of accounts that Joe Public has told me or sent to me. And the fascinating thing about it is that some of them are so similar, but they're not from anybody that's ever met each. In other words, I don't know, the lady that saw her granddad stood at the foot of a bed in Edinburgh has never met the lady from Southampton that saw her grandma standing at the side of her bed.
Yeah.
And so on and so on and so on. And so, they're and over the years of listening to it and hearing it, I get so many similar accounts that I know they must be real. And I know they are real. And that to me, and I put in the book, guys, this is the only proof that ghosts exist.
So Penny has just put, I have been medically dead twice in this lifetime, and my experience was very different from those I've read and heard from others.
Wow.
Do you want to elaborate? Tell us more, Penny. Write it down.
Yeah, but you see, I've had an account from my dad when my dad first had his first heart attack.
Right.
And he came back from that one at that time. Yeah. But he explained to me when he was conscious and awake and he explained to me that he saw himself laying on the floor with the doctors over him doing the
working on him, CPR
shock thing. Doing that to him, he could see himself doing that, but he also saw his dad who had passed away already, and he saw him and he said, "It's not your time to come yet. You must."
Yes, I hear lots of this.
And he came back on that one.
Yes, exactly. Wow. And again, there are too many of those accounts for it not to be real.
Yeah.
Far too many.
That's
far too many. And some of them sort of can give proof beyond anything. I can't remember. There's one, I won't go into detail. Some guy that was in America floated somewhere, and he actually floated out of the window and was on his way and noticed a white trainer, Plimsoll, on the outside on the what's the word, on the shelf outside of the window, windowsill.
The windowsill.
And described it to people, and nobody knew about it. But he saw it. Nobody knew it was there. But when they were investigated and looked, there was a white Plimsoll on this windowsill outside. I mean, that's what
I mean. So you can't
proof.
Stuff.
And I've spoken to so many people about, out of body experiences, that and some people reckon they can actually do it and come back. They do it willy-nilly, just as they want.
Penny just replied.
Bloody hell!
Penny's just replied. She's put too much to type, really, Mick. Both times I died, nothing that people described happened to me. It was amazing, though.
Oh, God. Nice one. Yeah.
And exactly. I'm still not happy to have been brought back.
Oh, Penny!
Wow.
Penny.
Okay. Oh, you see, it's not so bad over there, is it? Over there, wherever.
I want Penny on as a guest to tell her stories. We should do.
Yes.
We should do a podcast with everybody's stories coming on, telling their stories.
That would be really good for you. Yeah, it would be great. Yeah. And again, it'll give you more proof that it's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's all we want. Is just it's not proof. Just proof. It's the evidence, and it's to reaffirm. I think that there is something else out there that we as humans don't really know of.
Yeah.
So there's
Wouldn't it be nice to know?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but I said if we all knew that there was something else after this life, the whole world would be 90% of the world would be dead because they'd go and kill themselves if it was better on the other side.
You're right. And the other problem would be big time ethnic cleansing. We'd have to pardon everybody from Attila the Hun to Hitler to to Slobodan Milosevic and everybody, you know what I mean, all of that, and it would be a case of, well, hang on, we need Granny's house now. Not another couple of years. So we'll just send her on her way now, because she'll be all right up there. We'll have the house now. That's the biggest problem. Well, for God's sake, let's not prove it too quick, because I'll be out of a job as well.
Yeah, Penny said, laugh out loud, Richard, I love your work. Tell Jane Mortimer hello next time you see her.
Well, will do. I say.
Lots of nurses report that patients often say they see their family members before they die.
Yeah, numerous, all the time. I mean, one of the things, even now, whenever I have a nurse say, I say to them, do you still leave the window open? Open the window when they've died? Oh, yes. Yeah, we always open the window. Yeah, let the spirit out. You know, that's the thing. And the number of nurses I speak to, again, that say that they know when they're going to go, because there's someone with them. They're smiling at them, they're talking, they're pointing at them. Occasionally they're fighting them off because they didn't want that husband, they wanted the new husband, not the old one. You know what I mean? But on the whole, they tell me so often, yeah, we know when they're going, because there's somebody waiting for them, somebody come for them. And wow,
there's elements of truth to that, because there's so many stories of that.
Same thing. So many. It's not one. It's not an occasional one. It's all over the world that people get these accounts from people. And again, to me, it's proof.
It's
but
fascinating.
Not to science. Not to science, I'm afraid.
No, not to science. Because
to science, there's no proof.
No.
And that's so wrong. So very, very wrong.
But heard that so many times, Richard. Somebody comes for them. Yeah, I've heard stories.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the better ones I got was, all right, let me see if I can get it right. Long time since I've told this. There was a gentleman. He was, this was told to me by his daughter, and he was terminally ill. He was dying. He was put in a ward. And then when he was close to death, they put him in a separate area and curtained him off. And anyway, there was a guy that from work came to see him in the afternoon, walked into the ward and went to the end where the curtained off area was. And as he got towards the curtain, he heard the voice of the bloke's wife, who was dead. And she was telling him, he didn't go in, obviously, because he heard the voice and he stopped. Oh, crikey, somebody with him. Oh, I won't interrupt while they're in. And then as he was stood there, realised, of course, he knew who it was, because he knew it was the bloke's wife, but she was dead. And she was explaining to him that you can't go, you mustn't go, you mustn't leave the children.
Oh.
And then and anyway, the bloke went away. He was too upset and too concerned, because he knew that it couldn't be her voice, but it was. Anyway, he went into remission. And as she said to me, she says, my dad's still alive, by the way. And I'm thinking, God love, you're not going to make stuff like that up, are you?
Oh,
no.
God.
Yeah.
No.
Don't go. The kids need you. You have to stay. Bloody hell.
That's lovely, though.
Isn't
I
it?
love that. Yeah.
And lots of that sort of stuff where, like you said earlier, your dad, wasn't it? Said was it somebody said you can't go yet, you're not ready to go?
Yeah, he said he saw him standing there at in the light again.
Yeah.
And he said, you have to go back. It's not your turn to come yet.
I know.
And he came back from that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, isn't it it's so heartwarming to know that there is something else.
Yes. I think it helps. I think it does help.
It does
People
help.
that don't deal with grief that well, it helps them accept it.
I agree with you. Yeah. And that's why I have what's the word? Praise, not praise, wrong. Right, mediums. Okay, I don't know. People say, "Do you believe in mediums?" I said, "Well, I believe in ghosts." So you know, yeah, and there are a lot of charlatans out there as well. A lot. We know that only too well. But to me, some guy, some woman, or whatever that tells the old lady she's just lost her old man. She's in her 80s. She's all alone. She's got no pets, no nothing. She's all alone. And if you tell her that, you know, he's still with you, you know, he's there at night, you know, he's stood by you at night and he's waiting for you, does it really do a lot of harm? No. Or is it really not? It's sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Mortality counselling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Death counselling for them. And I don't think it does anybody any harm at all, that sort of thing.
No.
No, it's like that.
I think it's company.
Yeah. But how true it is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
That's another story. A lot more. But you see, to me, the thing that I can't get my head around is when they tell you what's going to happen in the future. Or, right, in the next couple of years, you're going to buy a red Mini. Well, I mean, I don't really see what that's got to do with the spirit world or anything else. And we get a lot of that sort of stuff. Which is, I mean, they're fortune tellers, aren't they, really?
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's a fortune teller. That isn't.
I don't believe in it.
If you want to know the future, watch The Simpsons.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That to me is not acceptable. You know, but the other stuff, you know, I don't know how true it is. I don't know how real it is. I'm not sure whether they are really speaking to your dead granddad or whether they have the same ability that the police have when they've confiscated your laptop. And although you think you've removed those images, you haven't. Because trust me, deep down inside that laptop somewhere, the police have a way of getting those images back out again. Yeah. And so is that similar with our own minds, our own hard drives?
Yeah.
In other words, are the memories from the past, from granddad or whatever, still stored? Because I think they are. Yeah, because that's why we say, oh, do you know, little Johnny's so good at playing the piano. Oh, so was his granddad.
Yeah.
Dad, in other words, and you know, hang on, little Johnny looks like his granddad. Do you see what? So something passes down, doesn't it?
Sounds exactly like my mum. My mum is terrible for that. As soon as one of like my eldest boy, if he does something, he'll be like, "Oh, your granddad used to do that like that."
Yes.
And I'd be like,
and I'm sure he did, and I'm sure it's because your granddad did that he does.
Yeah.
I'm sure of that. Of course he did.
I totally get that. Yeah.
So
it's like inherent memories.
Are they mind readers? Mediums.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, hang on. I'm getting a green dress here. And she's she loves the what? Green dress. I don't know about that. No. Well, speak you speak to your family, someone anyway, they go home and they say, he was on about this green dress. You're kidding. I said, what do you mean? Well, that's what your grandma, it was her favorite dress and she insisted on being buried in it. Wow. You know, I don't know. Yeah. So is that a memory that they are somehow capable of getting out of your brain? A mind reader. A lie detector, not a lie detector. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or is that not true? Is it great grandma that did actually say, tell them about the green dress? I don't know.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? So hard.
It is.
And when there's no science behind it, it's even harder.
Say again.
I said when there's no science behind it either.
No, and that's the problem, because science really can't. They won't commit themselves because I hate to say it, because there's so much ghost story out there. So, you know, scary ghosts, that's the problem. M.R. James, Edgar Allan Poe, Most Haunted, Ghost Adventures, whatever, Help My House is Haunted, you know, whatever it happens to be, it's all, be careful what you say, Richard. It's all not real. It's all not real. It's all for TV. It's all Scare Factor. It's all Scooby-Doo. It's all Scooby-Doo.
It is Scare Factor.
Because it wouldn't be on TV. This wouldn't be on TV because it's not entertaining for people.
Not scary. Actually,
No,
the thing is, it's damn sight more entertaining deep down because you see, we've had the Scare Factor. We've had all the ghosty stuff for 2,000 years, and all the stories and the Scare Factor. We're all frightened, and we're frightened of dying, and we're frightened of suicide and being buried in the crossroads, and our bodies are blah 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 blah. All that. People are fascinated by it, but you know what? There's room for someone to tell it as it is, to tell the real story behind it, the documentary type stuff behind the ghost business.
Yeah.
In the same way as the documentary story about, I don't know, the Titanic or whatever. You know what I mean? We've had the film, we've had all the people die, but people. There's so many films and programs about the Titanic, but the reality of it. And the reality behind ghosts, to me, is more fascinating than the Scooby-Doo side of it.
Yeah.
But we love Scooby-Doo. We love the Scare Factor.
We need to get Sky or Sky TV or someone to pick up. Look, you know, like they do Ancient Aliens.
Yes.
Ghosts.
Yeah.
Reality of ghosts. Yeah. And then we'll go around the world explaining all this stuff to people. And I think belief will change with ghosts, but I believe there is some sort of energy out there that does stuff that
that's right.
We deem it as ghosts.
Yeah. Well, that's what
until you have a conversation with a dead person.
How are you going to really know for sure?
Yeah. How are you going to know?
No, exactly.
We had a comment the other day on our YouTube channel, and somebody said on one of the episodes that I put out there, "Oh, nothing paranormal happened." And I said, we're documenting what happened on that night. You know, if we showed, it's not showing you the reality of what a paranormal investigation is. We've been in location, have been there for 12, 14 hours and got few little bits and bobs, nothing to ride home about. But I will still put that out there because it's documenting the reality.
That's right. That's the difference. That's the difference. And I'm sure because of that, people watch you.
And it's like, obviously, and it doesn't happen all the time. It's like we come to your Derby jail, didn't we? Yeah. And we didn't get much, did we? But it's just one of them nights.
Yeah, it all depends. You know, nothing. Christ almighty, I've had it 23 years, and I've seen a ghost, which is the most fabulous thing ever. One's enough, thank you very much, to see a ghost. You know, and I've had the glass throw itself off the table.
Yeah, we put that in our YouTube.
We put that in.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
I mean, wow. You know, and there's no. You know, and I've ticked every normal box imaginable to try and disprove it. I'm a ghost, but I can't.
And that's what's happening.
In 23 years, to me personally, there's other bits. Did you hear that? What was that? There was nobody in here. But on the whole, 2 major events for me in 23 years.
Yeah.
Not a lot. It's not a lot. But
it's not a lot. But then once collectively, as millions of people are doing it or getting them encounters, it makes it out on media or social media because we're so connected now. There's ghosts everywhere, but it's not, is it? You've had 2 encounters in 23 years, but because we're so connected to billions of people around the world, there's a million people that's had a ghost encounter that week. So there's a million ghosts that week.
I know that. And again, you know, giving credit to Most Haunted and all the others, of course, we're there filming for 24 hours, but you obviously only get an edited version of 40 minutes. Of whatever, you know, and you cram that into 40 minutes. It depends, you know. I mean, as you've said, you've been there hours and nothing's happened. So it doesn't matter how much you cram in your 40 minutes. Nothing happened. End of story, you know.
But I will still document that. I mean, when we came to the jail,
I agree with you.
There was bits happening and there was knocking coming from somewhere which we couldn't figure out where it was coming from in the jail. It sounded almost like you know, like the latch on the, you know, where we were in the tavern, you know, the latch on the door, it sounded like the latch on the door was pinging.
Yes.
But it was down towards the murder room. So we obviously went out and we checked and we were like, is it the same sound? Does it sound similar? But we just couldn't locate what was happening. So we did put that in the episode.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, stuff did happen, but I wanted to show that when these other channels put stuff out and saying, oh, I've been possessed by a demon, or I'm stuck in the cellar for days. It's not reality.
It isn't reality. No. And again, you know, the other, I mean, obviously that, Christ almighty, 122 programs I did on Most Haunted. The privilege of being in these locations to me was enough, because but things did happen. Things genuinely did happen. Some of them I don't believe were genuine, but things did happen on the show.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. And it was just the privilege and pleasure of being into some of these fantastically historic and allegedly haunted locations. And again, that's what, you know, that which is fantastic.
That's what I love.
We get to parts that nobody else ever gets to see, which you see on TV.
Yeah, and it's great because we went to Derby on Saturday, didn't we? We went to Grizzly Old Hall or Grizzly Hall.
Grizzly Old Hall, yep.
We went in there and it was all like, oh yeah, this is a bit run down. And then as soon as we went into the living spaces, it was like you moved into a different world. It's like the perfect scene for a sinister movie, or
it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah, we was up on there. We're going back again because
no, it's a good place. Good place.
Maybe you could join us on one, Richard.
Well, you never know. You never know. Always, after 55 years of experience of multiple types, I stopped discussing it for most of those years. You know what you know, and it's personal things. Too right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Wow.
Agreed.
So,
awesome.
Right.
Awesome. Thank
That's
you
the
so
end of
much,
our hour.
Richard.
Oh God, doesn't time fly when you're having fun?
It does.
No.
We'll have you back on. If you want to do another one, we'll do another one. What I'll do, Richard's got a book out called What
is a Ghost? What is
a Ghost? That's it. Can you buy it on Amazon, or is it
on Amazon? And you can also get it on my website, richardfelix.co.uk.
Yeah, I'll post it
on his YouTube channel as well.
Oh yeah,
at Richard Felix channel.
I'll post all the links in the description afterwards. So
and there's lots more to come. Lots more to come. Maybe putting old stuff on at the moment that I've done over the years. But
you need to get around to writing that book, Derby Jail.
I can't believe it. I've got
You've
to
got
do
to do it.
It would go. I mean,
I want to read it.
World famous. Yeah, I'll do it one. I need to retire to do that.
Yeah, do a roll go, sit in your shed.
Let me go, guys. Let me go.
Yeah. So, Richard, it's been lovely having you on. We'll definitely have you back on again.
It's a pleasure. Yeah, let me know. I don't think this to come again.
Yeah,
lots
and maybe one time you could come on a hunt with us.
Well, let's have a look. Yeah. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, Richard.
Nice talking to you.
Thanks for coming on. See you later.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
How do I get off it? I don't.
I'll kick you off. Don't worry. I'll put you on. Bye, everyone.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.